Okay, here is footage of the activity in the parking lot entrance Sunday, February 23rd after 12:30 a.m. and continuing up until 4 a.m. There's a big silver SUV leaving the complex at 12:49 a.m. It's likely this vehicle belongs to one of our residents. Then at 12:52 a.m., two cars leave. One car, a red sedan, leaves the complex, followed 15 seconds later by another red sedan. This seems too early for a break-in, considering out of 41 residents, a few people might get up and go to the 7-Eleven on a Sunday night. About a minute later at 12:53 a.m., three cars leave, a black sedan followed by two long white sedans. They stay for a moment at the entrance, bumper to bumper like they're in a parade, but they could just be following the lead car somewhere else, and two of these cars seem kind of nice, one even having a moonroof on top. Then at 2:02 a.m., another car enters but isn't seen leaving, so it's likely just a resident coming home. At 2:22 a.m., a dark car enters the complex, stops just past the mailboxes, and then turns around and leaves. Perhaps this is just someone using our parking lot to make a three-point turn because it's safer to turn in here than to do it from the blind curve on the street. But it does indicate this driver decided to change course well past 2 o'clock in the morning. Coming up, these next four events is where I see probably the most amount of vehicle and pedestrian activities for these late hours. It starts at 2:42 a.m. when a car parks at the curb across the street. This is probably a resident. The car does look familiar. After a few moments, the driver will get out, cross the street, and enter the complex through the walkway that runs in between Building 3 and Building 4. There's nothing unusual about this. Less than 10 minutes later, at 2:51 a.m., a big dark truck parks along the curb across the street. I think I recognize the large tire treads of this vehicle as possibly belonging to a resident. A guy and a girl will get out and walk rather quickly along the walkway between Building 3 and Building 4. You will also see each of them carrying a white or silver bag with them. Another interesting to note is that they left their headlights on. Less than a minute later, someone emerges from behind the mailboxes and he's moving with great purpose. You may notice from his tan jacket that he is the same person who entered the complex at 2:42. It seems peculiar that he is keeping both hands in his pockets, even across the street until he reaches his vehicle. He also doesn't use his vehicle cabin lights. Instead, he uses a flashlight or cell phone, staying in the dark for just a moment, and then, eventually, he decides to leave. Then at 3:01 a.m., what could be the most unusual short-term visit occurs. A long, dark, four-door sedan with shiny wheels enters the complex. The car drives at a slow speed past the first dumpster, creeping alongside the parking lot. 1 minute later, a white SUV enters the complex. This car looks familiar, and it also moves through the property at a much faster pace. Then at 3:12 a.m., the same dark car which entered the parking lot just 10 minutes earlier leaves the complex. If we take another look at this car, you can see the driver turning off their headlights while continuing their travel. This is not something I normally see people do. I'd say the break-in likely happened when this vehicle arrived. Did you know that each resident who parks in this lot is required to have a parking permit? It should be attached to the rear view mirror and displayed at all times while in the property parking area. Vehicles found in the parking lot without this permit can be towed any time at the owner's expense. If you do not have a parking permit, our property manager will need to verify you are a resident and validate your vehicle. You can reach our property manager to obtain a permit at managementsolutions@gmail.com. You can also contact Don Murphy at Management Solutions, 6200 Buena Vista Drive in Newark, California, or you can call 510-659-8969 and explain you're a new resident and you'd like to get a parking tag.